I just wanted to make this video. You'll notice I'm not in the usual setup, and sorry if it's a bit echoey. I'm currently in my shed. I've just finished a hard day's working, as it were, and just thought I'd make this video right quickly while I had the chance to really talk to you guys. I've been noticing a lot of, I would say, almost discontent amongst everyone who wants to get started when it comes to blacksmithing. And I've had quite a few people ask me, as I've mentioned in my past videos, like, how do you get into this? Like, how do I start this? And then what happens is they click on a YouTube video that has quite a decent amount of views, really, and they get fed products that just really aren't necessary. A lot of these products are gas forges, and gas forges are quite, word is risky, right? Risky is probably the biggest word, because when you are using gas, it's obviously a lot more dangerous than if you're using a hard or solid fuel. Like coal, wood, even. You can get away with using wood to some degree, not very successfully, but you can. And so I thought I would show you guys today my very, very first forge that I made when I was about, it's been a while anyway. I honestly, I can't remember. But anyway, let me just flip you around. So here she is. And this forge, unlike the others, cost me a grand total of around $20 to make as a whole. So all it is a bread pan. You can ignore the little sticks poking out. Those were added on later because we actually ended up using it as a cooktop for a while because we had a power outage. But this big square of metal with the hole in it, that is just a bread pan, I think, from memory, that I bought from a baking store and put a hole in it. And this stuff in the center here that you can see, this is all plaster of Paris and some high silicate sand. Really, it doesn't matter what sand you use, but the higher in silica value you get, the better, because it doesn't expand as much and, crack and crumble and whatnot. But you can use any sand. I used some high silicate sand that I found at my local hardware store, but if you don't have access to that, any sand will do. So all I did was I drilled a hole in here for this, made sure there's a nice valley in this trough. As you can see, the hole lines up with the trough in there, and then all that happens is this, you sit your coal in here, and you can have a blowpipe through here. You set your fire in here somewhere, and your core will sit more or less around here, where I'm pointing with my finger, somewhere around here. And as you continue to use it, this will crumble away just because of the sheer heat that it produces. Now, this is still a very operational and very good forge. It will work wonders for almost anything that people who are just beginning out will want to do. I personally made some decisions to make some attachments to it. So, like, for example, I folded out these sort of sides here so I could lay a piece of steel across my forge in through here, just to get it a little bit more heat overall. And if you guys are, I don't know what else you could be looking for really when it comes to it, because this thing is amazing. For the tubing to get into here, I just used a random steel pipe that I found, and I just duct taped it. To be honest, the duct tape did melt away pretty quickly, but it didn't really matter. Once it's all set in here, it kind of like expands and contracts, and it kind of seals itself, really. But yeah, I don't know how echoey this is. I'm sorry if it is really echoey. I'll try and turn it down in post, but as you can see, and just also, as a whole, if parents are watching who want to, you know, their kids might be interested, this thing is tiny. Okay, this is my hand, you know, this is the forge, it's tiny. But do not let that fool you. This thing I've clocked getting up to 1400, okay? But that was with pretty decent quality coal, actually. I spent a lot of money on that stuff, but you can use firewood in here, you can use coal, you can use charcoal. Charcoal I actually really highly recommend for people who are just starting out, because if it gets, you know, really hot and you don't know what to do, rather than, you know, like coal where it burns pretty slowly, charcoal just disappear. It will just burn up really quickly and gone. You don't really have to worry about it. The one downside to this thing is just because you are making it with a mixture of water and stuff around, like using when you're making it with the plaster of Paris, you need to be extra sure that it is fully set before you use it. And it's not anything dangerous. It just might mean that this plaster of Paris will just crack time and time again. But I used this thing for about 3 or 4 years before I switched to my bigger, better forge, which incidentally is just essentially the same thing on stands, pretty much. And then eventually have upgraded to my big forge, which is now what I currently use. But this thing lasted me 3 years. A bread pan, some plaster, and, you know, you don't have to worry about the brand of plaster. You don't have to worry about what it is. If this video gets enough likes, I might show you guys how to build one in a video maybe. But yeah, so this is a fantastic option for people who want to get into any sort of knife making or any sort of blacksmithing. It's just a really nice beginner-friendly furnace for you to just give it a trial and see how you like. And yeah, so hopefully you guys somewhat enjoyed that. I'm going to go and tidy up. I've made a mess of the floor, but anyway, yeah, that's about it. See ya.